It is hot. It is so hot. I've had to start wearing high socks because I'm having to tuck my, well, you get the idea. It's really hot. So you don't get the button-up shirt today. You're getting a t-shirt. I'll still stick with the hat and the apron, but man, it is warm in Georgia, folks, let me tell you. But we're out here to give you your video today on blacksmithing, and today we're going to talk about one of the most simple forges you can build, which is the famous box o' dirt. Now, it's pretty amazing that not a lot of people have ever talked about the box of dirt. It may just be that simple, because in my time, as you know, I got started in blacksmithing, it was always about the brake rotor forge. That was the way to go, and I had never actually heard of a box of dirt till I actually saw one, a real one, not far from here, a little north, in a place called Carnegie. And it's pretty amazing in its simplicity, and I'm going to show you guys how to build one. Now, there is nothing about the box of dirt that cannot be done directly on the ground. The entire purpose of the box of dirt is just to give you something that's higher, that's more comfortable to work on, and it's pretty simple. It can be made out of 2x4s, and you guessed it, dirt. Couple things I would tell you though, don't use treated wood for this. Treated wood is soaked in all kind of nasty chemicals. If it starts cooking off a little bit, it's not going to kill you, may not even make you sick, but it's certainly not good for you. So stick with untreated 2x4s and plyboard. So this particular one that I have drawn out here is made with nothing but 2x4s and a sheet of plyboard. If you have any woodworking skills at all, you can make this bad boy out. The measurements are simply 36 inches high, and this is variable. So again, if you can't figure this out for the 2x4s, you probably need to hire an adult to help you. However, what you want to do is build that bottom frame, and then here you want that piece of plyboard. Now, it can be as thin as 1/2 inch. I would suggest 3/4 at a minimum. This is a flooring or a decking. It's got a lot of good support. If you've got a piece of 1 inch, that's even better. You just need a top cap. And if you have the material and you have the space, you do want this side table, and you probably want to put it on both sides. Whereas one side is going to be for holding your air solution, the other side can be for holding tongs and tools and whatnot along those lines. And that's really handy. So if you have the material, put the wings on both sides. Now, basically, once you've got your legs and you've got that top plate, all you do is just make a box out of 2x4s, stand them up, and put it on top. That's it. No magic. Then you're going to use a space-age refractory material known as dirt. Dirt's not going to burn. I know that sounds really simple, but it does not burn. So what you do is you fill this area up to the top of the 2x4s with dirt. If you live in Georgia like I do, a clay is always a little bit better. Try to stay away from sand. Even sand will work, but find something that will pack down pretty reasonably well. And boom, there is the base for your fire. Now, you're going to be using a side blast furnace, which we actually talked about in the last video. And here's how you do it. While you're there at your Lowe's or your Home Depot, pick you up a piece of 2-inch black iron pipe. About 3 foot long would be ideal. And you can go over to electrical. Sometimes it's there by the pipe, but you can find a metal strap that's designed for pinning down a piece of 2-inch pipe. This simply goes over here. This is pinned with a screw or a nail to the side of this bad boy and sticks into the middle of the fire pit. Now, even without this block I've got drawn, which I'll talk about in a minute, you're pretty much ready to go. You take your Vidal Sassoon and you duct tape that bad boy to that pipe, and boom, you've got an air source. All you do is put your coal, start your fire right there, and you've got a way for the air to get to the fire. Notice that I'm leaving this in hanging out. Now, the further distance that you have between here and here, the better. Because if you've got a plastic Vidal Sassoon and you've got a bush fire this big, it's not going to be good for the Vidal Sassoon. So if you can get that away from the fire source, great. If you can't get it too far, a piece of sheet metal or something to block that heat will help. Just kind of use your common sense. If the hair dryer starts smoking, it's too close. That's how it works. All right. So the one other thing that I would tell you to add to this, and again, you don't have to go any further than your local home improvement store, is they have cement paving blocks, which are usually, I think, like 8 inches by 12 inches. They're a rectangular block like this. You can take a hammer and a chisel, if you carve out a little square or a saddle that will actually fit over this pipe and use a solid piece right across from it, you actually make a nice little channel that can help you concentrate your coals. You can also lay your bar stock through it without having it bump up against the edge of anything. Helps contain the fire. It's really handy. And that's it. I mean, that's your box of dirt and your air source. You know, hit the local hairdresser and you are ready to go. There's nothing overly complicated about this. One pass through Lowe's or Home Depot and you've got all the essentials that you need to be able to manufacture the box of dirt. If the sides get a little warm, sprinkle them down with water. Wood doesn't burn as well as you think it does, especially when it's wet. And I have seen several of these last for a very, very long time with no issue whatsoever. I mean, this is as simple as it gets. And I would say that it's probably far more simple and far more accessible to the beginner than the brake rotor forge, because again, I know you're going to Lowe's and Home Depot. You may not necessarily go through the scrap yard at a car parts place. So guys, again, there's not too much else to it on that end of it. Air source, box, dirt, and some wood. And there you go. The box of dirt awaits your primary voyage into blacksmithing. Guys, hope you enjoyed the video. Please shoot me some comments. If you guys have questions, leave them down there. You know I look at them. And do a brother a favor, hit that subscribe button. And I'll see you guys a little bit later. Be good.